This guy coming up on the stage right now, we met him, only months ago. And Chris and I have been working with him as a coach for us because he's not only a great human being, but he's an absolute life changer. And I want to just encourage you guys, please, put your hands together, make a lot of noise for somebody who I know can impact your life in a positive way like he has ours. Would you please make some noise for Mr. Sean Kelley?
Woo. Thank you, Matthew. Matt, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, guys. It's an absolute honor to be speaking for Rockstar for yet the second time. This is the second time, and an absolute honor to have all you guys here. I always get nervous before I speak, believe it or not. I've only spoke in front of a large audience 5-6 times in reality, okay? But so I still get nervous, and I think professionals, do you guys get nervous? Even the guys that have done it 500 times. Frank, how about you? You get a little nervous even? Every time. It's unbelievable. But you know what makes this all easier for me? I'm going to tell you right now. I know that I am in a room full of people that are just like me. Same mindset. I want to grow, and I know everyone in here wants to grow. Raise your hand if you want to grow right now. Raise your hand. That's awesome. All right, now I want you to say it. Say, I want to grow as loud as you can. Yell it, all right? I want to grow. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys? So that's what we're here to do. We're here to help each other grow. And knowing that you guys are all in the same, you have the same mindset as myself, it makes this easy. All right, so let's dive into the presentation. I'll give you a quick backdrop on what this is about. I want to help you at your dealership get more from your team. And when I say more, I mean more motivation by having a great recruitment, onboarding, and retention process, okay? And the reason this is so important for you and your dealership, I want you to walk away from this presentation knowing why it's so darn important, okay? And also, I want you to take a lot of practical and tactical items back with you that you can implement at your dealership right away. That'll be super easy to implement. It'll make a big impact. I believe in creating a team of unstoppable champions where every single player on the team gets the coaching they need to reach their fullest and greatest potential. All right, and my mission is to bring coaching to the car business and ultimately impact the leadership landscape of the entire automotive industry by showing managers how to be coaches. All right, that's why I do what I do. And at the end of the day, guys, if we keep doing what we've always done, we're gonna get what? What we've always, is that true? That's actually, it's not. You've all been lied to. And it's because of I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I know I start off a speech by calling everyone out. That's a great move. Frank, put that one down for me as a coaching item. So here's why you've been lied to, my friends. It's because of the Sigmoid Curve, all right? And someone a lot smarter than me came up with the Sigmoid Curve, okay? But what this is the Sigmoid Curve is a mathematic formula that measures success over time, all right? Anytime we start doing something new, right, we take a little dip in success. We're not as good at it. Just like when I started coaching, some of my veteran salespeople were like, what is this? We don't need this. What are you doing to me, boss? This is weird. I'm like, I know, but I think it's important. I just don't know how or why yet. So you take a dip in success. And now I'm not selling as many cars because I'm taking time off the desk, right? But as you practice and you continue to get better and better, you start getting better at what you're doing, right? Anytime you start doing something new, if you practice enough, you get better and better. And then you reach a plateau. How many of you guys have salespeople at your dealership right now that sell a lot of cars? Raise your hand. BDC agents that make a lot of appointments. How long have they been stuck at the number they're stuck at now? How long have they been sitting at 20 cars or 30 cars or 150 appointments? How long have they been sitting there? Because if so, they're stuck and they've plateaued off. But the saying, if you do what you've always done, you get what you've always gotten is wrong. And here's why it's a lie, is because once you plateau off, that means you've stopped changing and growing. You've stopped adding to or deleting things that's a waste of your time. And because the rest of the world is evolving and changing around you, if you keep doing what you've always done, you get less than you've always gotten. In fact, think about this, Toys R Us. They were doing what they've always done, right? Did they get what they've always gotten? Yes or no? No, they haven't, you guys. What about the housing market? Someone brought it up earlier, I think it was Frank. He talked about how the housing market in 2008, right? What happened there, guys? By the way, I became a used car manager just at late 07. One of the first auctions I go to, I'm standing there with my black book, and I keep my black book on me at all times because it's a reminder, we've got to change and we've got to grow, all right? And I'm standing there and there's a vehicle that's supposed to go through for 18 grand and they're like, 11,000, 11, and I'm like, what's wrong with my black book? Is this thing broken? But it was because the market changed, right? So here's my point, my friends. We've got to make a change before it's too late. And by the end of this presentation, you'll understand what the change I'm talking about is at your dealership with your people. And the way we bring people into the car business and the way we develop them in the car business has got to change. And the way we let them out of the car business has got to change, all right? And you're going to see why here. So part of my company, part of the process that I go through with my dealerships is that we do a cultural assessment. I can't just come in and start telling you how to sell cars. I really have to earn the right to coach you. For those of you that I coached you a little bit in the 90-second session, I just start coaching you. I didn't ask for permission. I apologize. All right. But my point is I can't sell coaching by selling coaching. I have to coach you. I have to give you some value, right? So I come in, I do this cultural assessment, and I get to hang out with the managers. I get to hang out with the salespeople, the BDCs, the owner. I meet with every layer in the organization, and I find out what's working with you, what isn't, what's getting in the way of your success. And when it comes to personnel, okay, when it comes to the leadership and the sales team and the turnover, I want to share with you some of the insights that I hear over and over and over again. And I want to see you guys nod your head if you say, yep, we've got that one going on. Yep, that's a challenge. So let me know if we're on the same page or not. And there's no shame in it. Guys, my dealership, believe me when I say this, when I was a general sales manager for 5 years, one of the top Hyundai stores in St. Louis, took it to #1 in the region by developing my people, okay? And I've been through all the challenges. I've had the turnover. I was up in bed at 1:30 at night, and my wife looks at me and goes, hey, honey, is our life insurance up to date? I was like, why is that? She goes, you're gonna die. I was like, oh my God. So my point, guys, is I've been through it, and I fixed it, and I'm gonna share with you how, okay? So when I've talked to managers about personnel and turnover, here's what I hear, all right? Trying to get my team motivated, trying to get certain people on my team is like pushing a broken down trade up a hill. Heard that one? Anyone feel that way? It's all right if you do, you're normal. They say that my salespeople can't wait to get off work. They've got other things on their mind. They have a side hustle. They haven't fully committed. They don't take ownership in their job. Managers feel like it's Groundhog's Day. They're like, man, I'm always recruiting, rebuilding, retraining over and over and over again, okay? And it's really frustrating, right? Recruit, retrain, rehire, recruit, retrain, rehire, like Groundhog's Day. Now, what do salespeople say? Well, salespeople say, my dealership will hire anyone with a pulse. Anyone felt that way? Oh, they flood the showroom floor. Man, the showroom floor always gets flooded with salespeople. And managers use this as sometimes to try to motivate their people. They're like, right, you've heard it, you guys better start selling stuff or I'm gonna flood the floor. What a great way to motivate people. That's awesome. There's better ways, I'll share those with you. Salespeople tell me, there's no training here, man, no onboarding. What's onboarding? I don't even know what that means. When they hire someone, they get thrown to the wolves. We hire someone and we're like, okay, now sell a car. Guys, and I used to do it, that young used car manager I was mentioning to you earlier, I would teach them the 10-step road to the sale. And they'd be like, okay, now go sell cars, you'll be good, right? I made it, so you should be able to too. The strong survive, right? How many guys, is this resonating with you guys, yeah? Awesome. And here's another thing, guys. Team cohesion is one of the most important motivating factors that drives motivation and results and activities at your dealership, my friends. And when the salespeople say things like, there's no point in making friends with a new hire, they're not gonna make it anyways, right? How motivated what does that mean for the culture? What do you think's going on there, guys? All right, they think that it's just like combat, right? And I use a lot of military analogies, as a lot of you guys know. I spent 2 years as a non-commissioned officer in the Army, 2 years overseas in combat zones. And it's all real. The struggle is all these challenges that these managers and salespeople tell me, guys, it's 100% real. Dealershipnews.com, I was checking out, they had a great study from an ADA on turnover. And the industry average hovering around 70%. It's real. And the turnover costs dealers about $7,500 every time someone quits the dealership, all right? And this is something we've got to do something about. And I'm gonna connect all the dots at the end. You'll really understand the why behind it. But first, let's talk about how we can fix it, okay? How can we fix it? Well, first off, we should always be recruiting. I know it sounds counterintuitive to not flooding the floor, right? But the reason we should always be recruiting is because we should always be looking for the ideal candidate, all right? How many of you guys, you hire, what is the ratio? Does anyone in here hire 1 out of 10 applicants they interview? Anyone in here hire maybe 1 out of 5 applicants you interview? Raise your hand if you're hiring 1 out of 5, okay? A couple people. Is anyone hiring like 50% of who you interview? If you're hiring more than 1 out of 10 people you interview, my friends, then that means you're probably recruiting out of weakness, okay? We need to recruit from strength, We need to be always, by the way, Frank Lopes let me take a picture of him working out this morning. Frank, thank you. Appreciate that. I'm just kidding, that's not Frank. I don't know who that is. But anyway, bottom line is this, we've got to recruit from a place of strength, okay? And then what that means is we don't recruit out of desperation when we need people. We should always be recruiting. We should always be looking for that next player on the team, that next key player, all right? So when we look at this, when recruiting from strength, what does that mean? What does that really mean? We're not desperate, okay? We talk to our salespeople and we say, salespeople, we want you to help bring in teammates, your teammates. Guys, if we flood the floor with random applicants, right? How are they going to fit into your team? But what if your people were to be rewarded for bringing in their friends or their family members to sell cars or work in your BDC and help? Now, what is the level of buy-in around that team member? They're going to want them to help them succeed. Is that safe to say? Versus, hey, this person's here to take some of my pie, and they're not going to make it anyway, so I might as well treat them like dirt, take their customers, and not give them any opportunities, right? So we've got to change the game. We've got to get the team behind buying in. And then here's the other part of it. Market your people development. I'm not very photogenic, for the record. See, got a kind of a big nose. But we've got to market your people development. Guys, if you want to collect ants, what could you put down as bait? Honey, right? Sugar? If you want to get deer, what do you put down for you hunters out there? Salt? Deer like salt. If you want to get employees that are, raise your hand and say, if you want employees that are trainable and coachable, if you want those people on your team, at your dealership? So are you not marketing your people development? Are you showing, when you're saying, hey, we're looking for people, here's what we do, right? We're doing coaching, we're doing people development. If you've got an Anthony Algona or an Anthony Santangelo back there training your people, market that, guys. You will find people applying for the job that want to also grow and be trained. And then we've got to define the ideal candidate. If we don't know the type of employee we want to hire, then how can we get the right employee? How many of you guys have your expectations clearly defined and written on a piece of paper, and before you even hire someone, you go through every expectation one by one, and you have them sign off on those? Who does that? Okay, we got Eric does it. Eric, that's awesome, man. Guys, you've got to clarify your expectations. We do it by defining our ideal employee first. Does that make sense? Okay, and here's one of the other challenges. If you make it too easy to get the job, all right, if you make it too easy, if you're hiring 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6 or 50% of your employees, easy come, easy go, right? If you make it a challenge, they want the job even more. Guys, I've got these awesome back there, my swag back there. I've got those business card holder things, they stick to and it's a kickstand for your phone. It's free. How many of you guys, you're not gonna covet that thing. You're gonna maybe throw it in a bag. Probably 2% of you will use it. All right, but check this out. If you had to climb Mount Everest to get that sucker, you'd frame it and put it on a shadow box in your living room, wouldn't you? Right? Why do we make it so easy for car salespeople or BDC agents to get a job? Why is that? Why do you think? Anyone? Why do we make it so easy to get hired at our dealership? We're desperate, okay. And when we're selling an applicant on working at our dealership because we're desperate for a car salesperson, then guess what? And they're selling us on getting hired. It's 2 salesmen, right? All of a sudden, and we wonder why we hire the wrong people. And we wonder why there's 70% turnover, because we're hiring 70% of the people we interview. Does that make sense? So don't make it easy for them to get the job. This sounds counterintuitive, but guess what? If you're always recruiting and you never shut off that faucet, then it's okay if 90% of them fall out. You see the difference here? So what could the hurdles be? Well, first off, you have to do a phone interview before we hire, before they earn the right to come interview with you in person and take your managers off the floor for an interview. They got to pass a phone interview. If you expect them to shoot videos, how many of you guys are getting into videos? I've heard that here. Several people like, we need to do more social media. We need to do more videos. Okay. If you're going to be bringing in like Tim James over there for Flick Fusion to do some video marketing, you might want to have the salesperson send you a video before you hire them to see if they're willing to send videos. Safe to say? Now, when you hire them, you know they're going to meet that expectation. 3 interviews. Google, by the way, is getting a job at Google or Microsoft. It's tough to get it. It's a coveted job there, right? Well paid, lots of benefits. You got to go through like 20 interviews to get on there. All right. I recommend at least 3 on-site interviews and test for competency in between. 3 strike or out policy. All right. Let me show you guys some of my favorite recruitment best practices. Explain the process up front. Mr. Salesperson, can I use you as an example?
Absolutely.
Awesome, thank you. So we consider ourselves the 2011 World Series Cardinals, all right? And I wanna bring you on the team, but only if you're a great fit for the team. My job in interviewing you and putting you through this process is not to find out if you're gonna make it here. It's to hire you full well knowing that you're gonna make it. Does that sound fair?
It does.
Are you willing to go through some challenges and jump some hurdles to get this job, to be on this winning team?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Now, by the way, your salespeople, the rest of your culture, they hear me having this conversation with him. What happens to their value, their personal value? Does it increase like crazy? Guys, explain the process, make it a challenge, meet expectations up front. 3 strikes and they're out, okay? And conduct the reference checks needed, okay? Conduct the reference checks. I literally, last week I was at a dealership that told me, man, that salesperson that I just hired, they literally got let go from their last dealership for taking care of their own business on the showroom floor. That's insane to me. They found that out the day after they hired the person, guys. All they had to do was call the last dealership. They would have found that out. Guys, we've got to take the extra time and spend the time doing the recruiting in the right way, and then track the recruitment funnel just like you do with your internet leads. If we're constantly recruiting and we're always moving people down, have that process and move people down it, the ones that get to the end of the process that don't get weeded out, they're gonna be so much more successful at your dealership. By the way, I have that entire process. You can download it from my app. It's free, it's in there. That is the site for it, okay? You gotta pull it up on your mobile device, and it's visit drivecoaching.cardtap.com, and you can download my recruitment process, and you can tweak it for your dealership, of course. And if you grab a picture of this, if you don't get it, I'll get you after the presentation. All right, so this goes into onboarding, okay? Onboarding is building the foundation for success. Once you hire someone, then what's going to happen with them, guys? We gotta bring them in the right way. Don't throw them to the wolves, right? I'll tell you a quick story about how I got in the car business. I was in the Army, got out of the Army, bought a house I couldn't afford on a 2-year ARM during the subprime, the whole mortgage thing. I luckily had enough money down. They gave me a loan. That was nice of them. Even though my payment tripled after 6 months, it was. Then I wrecked my car on the way to work, and I was working at Best Buy trying to finish college. Then I was walking into a job interview. I was so excited. I was gonna work at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I was gonna make $28,000 a year. It was gonna be phenomenal. And as I'm walking in, my phone rings, and it's my fiance, and I answer it, and she's like, "What are we gonna do? Oh my God, I'm pregnant." I'm like, I'm walking into a job interview right now, honey. And then needless to say, the whole interview, I just sat there nodding my head, and I didn't hear a word the guy said, and they didn't hire me. The reason I tell you that story is because fast forward a week later, I'm in the dealership buying a car, replacing the car I wrecked, and in the finance office to get hired to sell cars, okay? The manager, after he hired me, he took me around, he introduced me to all the managers of all the dealerships. He said, and he kept saying one thing over and over, "I'm really excited to have Sean on the team, you've got to meet him. He's gonna be a rock star for this dealership. I'm so happy he's on the team. It means so much to have someone like this helping us sell cars here." 2 weeks later, Enterprise calls me. "Hey, we lost 2 employees. We'd like to give you the job." And I couldn't even believe it, because again, I don't even remember what we talked about. I wasn't even thinking about it, right? Guess what, the one thing, and I wasn't too keen on selling, the one thing that kept me at that point, the one thing that had me stay at that dealership, guess what it was? It was the onboarding. That's right. It was the fact that the manager took time out of his day, gave me the gift of his time, and he showed me around and he showed me the ropes, okay? Onboarding is critical of foundation. How many of you guys are frustrated because you hire someone, you spend time interviewing, and then they leave? Like, you've seen it happen, right? The churn and burn. It happens. We've got to stop it with the right onboarding. Your goal in the onboarding is help align them to the direction of your company. Tell them where the company is going, why it's going there. Make sure they're excited to be on that bus, okay? You guys all have tools you invest in. I was talking to my friend Luke over here, and you guys have CRMs, you have video, you have all these tools, right? You've got to help them know how to use those tools. You're spending the money, when you're onboarding them, show them the tools and how to leverage them to great success. Help them shorten that learning curve, guys, because if they learn at a rate slower than basically if they're learning too slow and they can't pay their bills, they're gonna quit on you. It's that simple, right? Help them understand the landscape of your dealership. They've got to know where the used cars are. Where's the CPOs? Where's the copy paper? I meet salespeople sometimes when I do my cultural assessments, and they've been there for 2 months and they don't know how to put a deal jacket together. How are they going to be able to master selling if they don't know how to do that? Help them assimilate into the culture of your dealership. If you've got a bunch of fellows like this, like Bill, I'm sorry, dude. And Eric, Herb there. So anyway, if the culture is like this, then help them fit into the culture, okay? Show them, make them part of the team. What if every new hire that you were onboarding went around and asked everyone on the team, hey, what's one thing you wish you learned from day one selling cars? How could that help you, right? What that information provided to the managers, is that not actionable coaching items for not only the new hire, but people on the team? Finally, I want to talk to you guys about, and what do I got on time? What? I'm good, okay. Finally, I want to talk to you guys about finding what Vince Lombardi says. My favorite leadership quote of all time. My job is to find 40 different ways to move 40 different men, okay? There are, and this is a study I've been doing with all my dealerships. I've created a survey which measures two things. Motivation requirements, are they being met? And it also measures success perception. So there are 10 motivation requirements that help an employee be extremely excited and motivated to come to work every day and produce results and work for their leader. All right? The higher they are over there, the more likely they are to stay on the team and produce results for you. So what are they? Does the employee feel valued? Okay? Are they selling for more than the money? If you ask your entire sales team, why do you sell cars? Why do you work in the BDC? If they say for the money, guys, that purpose, you've got to find another purpose, okay? Because money that's a whole nother presentation I do, but we've got to find a better purpose or another purpose other than the money. Are there rewards that inspire them? Are they recognized for a job well done, all right? Recognition, what's the value in recognition? Hey, good job on that. Guys, if we recognize people in the right way, we can get them to continue to reproduce the activities and the behaviors that mean the most results. All right? Are they becoming more proficient? Are they mastering new skills? Are they free to make their own choices, or are they micromanaged or completely ignored altogether? Right? Autonomy is a thing. Is there a belief they can move up in their career? How many of you guys, wait, everyone in here said, I want more, didn't you? When I asked you, did anyone not say I want more? Everyone in here wants to move up. Everyone in here wants more. So do your people. If they don't believe they can move up with your dealership, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to find somewhere where they can, all right? Is there value in teamwork? Is the competition healthy or toxic? If there's skating going on, all that, those sort of things, right? That's unhealthy competition. You need friendly competition. Is work fun and exciting? Work's got to be fun and exciting, my friends. If it's not fun, then people are going to be like, this is a lot like boot camp. I think I'm going to, find somewhere a little more fun, something more exciting to do. Do they look up to their leadership? The 4 C's of leadership: character, coaching, all right, competence, and I forgot the 4th, honestly. Character, caring, competence, and coaching. That's the 4 C's. Character, caring, competence, and coaching. Guys, now that's the motivation requirements, all right? They've got to pass those. Now, on the y-axis is the success perception. Show me the money, right? If they believe that they're making more at your dealership in your department than they could make going somewhere else, they won't go somewhere else. But their family might be saying, hey, honey, you're not bringing home the bacon. You might need to find another dealership. If we can help these people know that they're going to make the money, they're going to bring home the bacon, and they're also motivated to come to work, then they're in the top right quadrant. I call that inspired satisfaction. All right, if you've got employees there, they will be willing to recruit for your dealership. They will be willing to help new hires ramp up and onboard them. They will be willing to do everything it takes to help the company succeed. If they're down here in the bottom left-hand corner, then they're not motivated, and they don't believe that they're making enough money, and those people are actively undermining the dealership's success. I promise you that. And they're not going to help you recruit. And they're not going to have a vested interest in other team members' success. If they have success, but they aren't motivated, okay? If they are motivated but don't have the success perception necessary to stay on that team, both of those guys will, high probability that they could be recruited and go elsewhere as well, all right? Very important you try to do this. We got a bunny rabbit and an X. If I hit that bunny rabbit with a stick, we're going to flood the floor if you don't, right? If we hit that bunny rabbit with a stick, what is the probability it lands on the X? Give me a percentage. 0. It's like 0, yeah, maybe 0.001, whatever. Guys, instead, we need our employees, our salespeople, our managers, we need them magnetically driven, magnetically pulled to what they want most in their career. I want to know, do you know what each player on your team wants most in their career? Do you know that? If it's more money, if it's to sell more cars, you don't know that. I promise you. So other than motivation, more sales, growing people, why should we care? Why should we, we'll get more motivation if we do these things. If we have this recruitment process, we'll get better candidates and, they'll be more motivated and then they'll grow. But why else? What's the big thing, Sean, that you say, the sigmoid curve and how we'll get less than we've always gotten? Why should we really care? Well, there's some tipping point influencers, okay, guys? We've got competition and change versus laws and tradition, right? Laws and tradition that protect the dealerships from things like Carvana, that, where people can go online, buy a car, deliver it to their house. Tesla, all the different companies, Fair, the app that where you can lease a car, return it whenever you want, get a different one. All these things, guys, is competition and change, right? Well, the laws and tradition try to protect us from that. You've got digital purchasing preferences. Guys, most customers right now would rather go to the dealership. They don't even think about digital purchasing. But why is that? Is it because they would rather go to the dealership, or is it because they don't know what Carvana does yet? But what if Amazon, someone mentioned it earlier, right? If Amazon rolls out a digital purchasing, then guess what happens? Then everyone's gonna know, aren't they? Guys, in business, you either gotta be the best, be the first, or be the only one doing it. That's how you be successful at business. Would you agree? Say, I agree.
I agree.
We gotta be the best, we gotta be the first, we gotta be the only ones doing it. Let's beat them to the punch, right? Let's include our people. That way, because you don't need managers to manage a bunch of kiosks, all right? And that's where you got technology and processes versus turnover expense. At $7,500 a pop, every time one of your coworkers leaves your dealership, guess what that means? Your dealership's losing money. And that means that at some point, it might be cheaper to get kiosks. Kiosks went into the fast food industry when the workers wanted a bunch more pay. Remember that? Because it was cheaper. They have businesses to run. Very important to watch out for these things. So let's put it all together, my friends. And hopefully I haven't been too intense for you. I get excited about this stuff, all right? Because I know how it impacts lives. And number one, set the foundation for success with strong onboarding. Number two, recruit from strength and with transparency. Tell the person what they're gonna go through to get on this winning team. All right, number three, exceed each employee's motivation requirements every single day. Have a process to meet them and exceed them. All right, learn what drives each employee and motivates them most. And then as a manager, take time to sit down with them and help them get there. All right, because if you don't, here's the thing, they're still gonna quit. They're still gonna leave your company. But the question is, when they leave your company, are they doing it because you helped them become an executive coach, right? Or is it because they can't move up in your organization? You want them to leave for number two, because I tell the world how Butch Suntrip helped inspire me to become a coach and allowed me to do it and helped me do what I do now, right? I tell that story. He helped me get there. It could have been the other way around. He didn't help me, wouldn't help me, and I had to leave and quit and do it on my own, right? So, the reason for this slide is there for a reason. It's supposed to be blank, because I'll tell you why, my friends. The future of the car business isn't written yet. It's that simple. You guys, this generation of automotive professionals gets to pick what happens. Are people buying cars from kiosks 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, or are they relationship-driven purchasers? Are we adding value are we creating an amazing experience and adding value and making relationships and keeping our employees? And raise your hand if you agree, employee retention directly affects customer retention. Raise your hand. We've got to keep our employees. We've got to limit the turnover, my friends. We've got to make an impact in people's lives. And this is the last thing I'm going to ask you to do. Look, the person next to you. And this is why Jim, I was like, what the heck? Did he listen to me practice in my hotel last night? I want you to look at the person next to you. The eyes are the window to the soul. There you go. These two are married. You can tell. They're so cute. Lisa and Luke. All right. Look into the eyes of the person next to you. I got you, bud. All right. And I want you to say at the same time, I will impact your life. I will impact your life. Mean it. Don't laugh while you say it. You can't say something like that and laugh. Oh my, all right. Listen, guys, thank you very much. Matt, thank you for allowing me to speak here at the conference. You guys rock. Appreciate you.
For Sean Kelley.
Did it go over?